Good morning. How are you? I just gave myself a really good hair thinning out using my razor comb. And I cut my bangs. I keep trying to make sure I got this one good. It always wants to stick out. When I had my old glasses, these little side pieces never stuck out. And I've noticed ever since I got these new glasses, they stick out on my face a little bit more. And it makes these side pieces want to stick out like wings. But I thinned a lot of hair out of it. I tried to do some in the back too, but I'm not as good at doing the back. Let me show you what I got going on here. This is the amount of hair I thinned out altogether. I like to take it outside and put it in the yard because the birds take it and use it for their nest. So let me clean all this mess up and get that done. That's a lot of hair off of someone's head that has super short hair, a super short hairstyle. Good enough. I already need to weed my flower bed again. Look at this. It's already weedy again. But the flowers are doing good. Anyway, how does it look? Can you tell it's a lot thinner? I trimmed my bangs and I took all that hair out of here and some from back here. Jackson and I both have extremely thick hair. As it grows, it doesn't actually grow longer for a long time. It just gets thicker and thicker and thicker and poofy like a mushroom. And mine was to that point. It was definitely time. Usually every other time I get a haircut, I go in and get it all cut. And then on the alternate times in between, I do it myself. That's actually the second time I cut my bangs since I had a haircut last. But the first time I've had to actually thin it really good. So here in about a month or 6 weeks, it'll all be grown out and thick and poofy again, and I'll go get it really shaped up then. But this works for now. We are about to go meet a guy in town that wants to buy Jackson's old his old Xbox and all of his old games that he had when he was a very young child. This was the first game system he ever had, with the really easy Lego kid type games. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, we are going to meet the guy. He's gonna buy the old Xbox. And I don't like to give out my address, especially to men, you know, that I don't know. So we're gonna sell that. Jackson finally got a Switch 2. He has waited and waited and waited since they first put him out. He finally got one this week, which was a big expense. But we are gonna sell the Xbox and we're gonna sell his VR gaming system that he doesn't use because it gives him a headache, to kind of recoup some of the money that we spent on the newer gaming system. So that's why we like to do it, out with the old, in with the new. Well, I'm trying to get back into the motto of not keeping things around the house that we don't use. We are very limited for space here, and every closet and nook and cranny that you don't see is stuffed full. Every drawer, a lot of houses have a junk drawer. We have a lot of junk drawers. So I'm trying to slowly but surely weed out things we don't use and only keep the things we do use. All right, you want to show them what you're doing? Show them what we have.
Hang on.
Okay, I'm gonna get it set up first. I need to wash this tablecloth again today. I've washed it twice now, but it has pizza all over it again. I had to wipe down all my books that were over on the end table by the couch. Jackson was playing with a little squishy fidget this morning and swinging it around, and it busted, and it went everywhere, didn't it? All over the library books. I'm really hoping that it didn't damage them. I think we got it all cleaned up quick enough.
There.
It even got a little bit on my laptop, but not too much.
158.
Puzzle 158. We've been playing with this canoodle game. We've had this for years, and Jackson found it the other day. It's called canoodle. These little pieces are called noodles. I guess that's why it's called canoodle.
At the link up here. Okay.
Here's the rest of the pieces. And it comes with a book
Of challenges.
It has different levels, and we do pretty much level 6 genius. It's the only one that's really challenging to us these days. When we first got this, we could barely do level 1 and 2, but now we're on.
But no, not level 1, because level 1 you only need to put 1 piece in.
Yeah, that just gives you the idea. But Jackson set me up a challenge, so what I have to do is I know that these are where they go, and I have to try to make them all fit in there by using the rest of these. So we're gonna play with this today. My mom and I love to play this together. Jackson didn't used to like it. It used to frustrate him, but he's kind of getting into it now.
Did she ever introduce him to the dog?
Yes, they know who Thor is. What I like about this puzzle is it keeps our brain really working, doesn't it? It's like a workout for our brain. My mom likes it because she is constantly trying to, do games and things to keep her mind young and keep her mind active.
And also, if you do have one of these, I would not recommend the 3D pyramid puzzles. Those are impossible.
You can build on the back and do a 3D puzzle. Jackson and I have not figured them out.
They're impossible.
We need to look up a YouTube video about how to do it. And if we could see someone do one and we could copy what they were doing, then we would get the idea of how they interlock together to make a pyramid. But we're going to play with this, and I'm going to eat breakfast, and then we'll check back in with you guys in a little while. This is my most hated piece.
The pink?
Any puzzle without this piece, I can work fairly quickly. This is my absolute most hated piece.
Yes, look at the shape. It is so zigzaggy. It's impossible.
It's not impossible, but it makes it difficult, doesn't it?
Meet Taffy the dabbing sloth.
Every time I try to film, Thor goes in there and eats or drinks.
I know, he thinks you're eating. Yay, she did it! We're gonna do a 3D pyramid puzzle now.
I got it. All right, we're gonna look up a video and see if we can figure out a 3D one. All right, guys, today's video is gonna be a short one. We haven't done a lot to film, and we have a lot going on here. It's been a little bit of a stressful day for me, and my anxiety's just up really high. As you can see, we've had to rearrange our whole living room. We've had to take the china hutch out. Well, I'll show you where it is. We've had to move the china hutch. We've had to take down what few pictures I had hanging. The guy is gonna come this week and hopefully fix the ceiling. So we had to get everything out of his way. He has to do the ceiling up here, and he also has to do some work on the tan wall on both sides. So we had to move all of the grandkids' toys out of here again. And as you know, we live in a little bitty house. When I moved them last time out of the way, I put them in my bedroom, but there's no room in my room. There's no real room in my bedroom to just keep them in there. So we've had to put them over here. Let me flip the camera around. We've had to pile all of the grandkids' stuff here. And then over here, we've had to put the china hutch and the pictures and the chair, which is kind of crammed in there. There's the cat again. And I moved her bed back there. Not that she's going to lay on it. And then we have the wall empty here, everything taken off of it. I need to vacuum down here, but I know they're gonna make a huge mess on the carpet, so I'm not super worried about it yet. So as an autistic woman with OCD and with just a lot of different anxieties and stresses. This is just, it's so much for my brain. My anxiety is different than Jackson's anxiety. On your average day, I'm not an anxious person. But if any of my items are moved, if any of my stuff is out of place, and it kind of, you know, plays in on the OCD, but it's a lot the autism, it just makes me an anxious wreck. When my house isn't the way I like it to be, you see in my videos, my house always looks the same. You could go back to all the houses my husband and I have ever lived in, and things are put up almost the exact same way. It's my comfort. It's my sanity, I guess you would say. It's what makes me relaxed and feel calm and at home. For those to be out of place makes me anxious in a way that makes me just want to close my eyes and go to sleep. My energy level and my mood is very, very low because it makes me just really want to shut down, almost like a battery, almost like a robot shutting their system down and going to sleep, or however you would want to say it. That's how I feel. But then on the flip side, when I have somebody coming over, or I have a repairman that's going to come do repairs or anything of that sort going on, it gives me extreme insomnia. I cannot sleep. I lie awake at night all night long, and I think about these people being in my house. So I have both of those playing against each other. I'm extremely tired. I just, like I said, I could like hibernate and sleep for hours, but at the same time, I can't sleep even at night. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm up until past midnight most nights, and I'm awake again at 2 or 3 in the morning. If I doze back off, I'm awake again at 4 or 5 in the morning, and then, you know, Jackson gets us up usually by 6 or 6:15. So I just have a lot going on right now. I'm hoping and praying that the guy actually shows up tomorrow. It's the same guy that did the work in our bathroom, which should kind of relax me because I somewhat know him. He was in here for 3 weeks doing our bathroom. But we use him because he does pretty decent work for the price he charges. I would say he does great work for the price he charges. He's lower than a lot of people, so his work isn't quite as fancy, but it's definitely sufficient. Sorry, Jackson came in here, and which, you know, let me just say this too while I'm thinking about it. On top of all my anxiety over this whole situation, I'm still solely responsible for managing his anxiety because I am his person. I am his comfort and his safety. So I have to be very careful not to let him see or hear or pick up on my anxiety, because anxiety already rules his life, completely rules his life. He has enough of his own anxiety over having to have these repairs, over having things different in the house, over our routine going to be different, over people going to be in here. So on top of trying to manage my own health, mental health, and anxiety, and keep myself regulated, I still have to do the same for him also. And I still have to make sure that he is coping well because, you know, for his mental health, for his anxiety, for his comfort and safety. And I'm sorry if this is loud. I've been fidgeting and fidgeting because with all that's going on, you know, I have trichotillomania and I pull my eyebrows. I have big bald spots again because I've pulled, and I'm trying my best to keep my hands busy, to try to keep my mind busy, to try to stay occupied. But as I was saying before, anxiety is through the roof. When my husband moved this china hutch, it comes apart in 2 pieces, and he moved the top by himself because I'm not tall enough or strong enough to help him. And I could hear a lot of my antiques falling over and rolling around in there. And I don't think any of them are broken, but I'm not even going to let myself look. I'm not even going to look in there or sort in there or do anything with it until all of the repairs are complete and we put it back over on the wall where it goes. Then I will, you know, put everything back up just the way I had it. And when I mean just the way I had it, I mean pretty much just the way I had it. I kind of know in my mind where I had everything. And I might even refer back to a picture because I won't be happy unless it's just how it was. I'll notice it every time I walk by, or even if I'm not looking at it, I'll know it's not right. So hopefully nothing is broken. So what was I saying before Jackson came in? The downside to him charging a lower price is that a lot of times he says he's going to come and he doesn't show up. Or he comes and he works for an hour and then he goes to do something else somewhere else. He has assured me that this will only be a one-day job, but I'm anxious about it and I have my doubts about it because I think he'll drag it out to be more than one day. I hope not, though. I hope he can have it done in one day, or at minimum have the ceiling fixed one day and come and paint the next day. So I'm anxious about all of this, and he said he might make it over tomorrow or it might be Tuesday, so I don't really know what day he's coming. And on Tuesday, Jackie goes back to work, which means I'll be here to deal with it on my own again, which happens every single time. Every time we ever have repairs or something like that. So it's just a lot. And we have really big plans on Thursday. So I really want it all done by then. So my mind will be relaxed and at ease, if that makes sense. I could always tell him not to come on Thursday that we have plans. That would be fine. But then I'll still have the anxiety because it's not finished, or he has to come back, or when, or where, or if, or, you know, just so many things. And then, of course, I know that my carpet's going to get messed up. And we have had plans to replace this carpet for a long time now. Jackie's bonus check is coming, and that was one of the things we wanted to do, was replace the carpet. But I still don't want it ruined, because what if we don't get to have it done right away, or what if it takes time? Same with the attic. He's going to remove a lot of the insulation up there that got wet. We don't want to replace that insulation at this time, because when my older son can get to it, he does spray foam insulation. He is going to come and spray foam up in our attic. He's going to bring a big vacuum and suck up all of the loose, old, nasty insulation up there, and he's going to spray foam the attic for us, which will be wonderful. But then I have all the anxiety of, when will it get done? You know, we're going into our hottest months of summer. July and August are the hottest months here, well over 100 most days. We can't just be in here with no insulation. Our air conditioner barely keeps up as it is. Tomorrow's a new day. We'll get right back at it. We will get right back to filming, and we have a couple of fun things going, coming up this week that I will take you guys along for. So have a great week. Today is Sunday. It's Sunday evening. Have a great week. For those of you still in the hospital, I'm still praying for you, and I hope each and every one of you are happy and healthy. And don't forget, do something nice for yourself. See you next time.